It's the summer of 1989. Bella Vista, Arkansas, back when it wasn't golf courses and gated neighborhoods, but pine forest, new roads, and long, quiet stretches of US 71. A 19-year-old woman named Dana Stidham runs a quick errand for her dad, a grocery run that should have taken 15 minutes. She buys cat food, a pack of cigarettes, some other small things at the Phillips Food Center right off 71. Her receipt reads 3:17 p.m. That's the last confirmed moment of her life. Sometime after that, a motorist, or maybe a police officer, reports seeing a small gray Dodge Omni pulled over near Wellington Road. Behind it, a pickup truck, a man kneeling. The kind of scene you pass on the highway without thinking. Maybe he's fixing a flat. Maybe someone's helping. By the next morning, her car is still there. Keys in the ignition. Groceries untouched on the passenger seat. The left rear tire is still flat, but there's no signs of Dana. For 7 weeks, nothing. Then, on September 16th, a man out squirrel hunting in the thick woods near Beale Lane finds human remains in a dry creek bed. But he doesn't call it in right away. And when he does, the body is identified as Dana Stidham. Cause of death? Homicide. Trauma. In this episode, we're going to walk through that day, not the legends, not the rumors, the real timeline, the real cases. Where Dana went, who saw her, and how a quiet errand turned into one of Arkansas's most haunting unsolved mysteries. So, Andrea, we've been working on this pretty hard. I've actually built out what they call a murder book. I kind of like the way they call it a murder book, though.
Yeah, a murder book, but it sounds, of course, obviously a murder book. It's very morbid, but it's kind of the timeline of everything you can find out on this kind of situation.
Well, and we're going off public records at this moment.
Yes, newspapers.com, we love you.
I don't know about that.
You can get a lot from that, though.
Love-hate relationship with me.
Yeah.
That thing. But I've done my FOIA requests.
Yeah, you have.
And I'm still trying to get more information. I've found a bunch of other podcasts. There's this one guy who writes, God, his podcast is so hard to listen to.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff, though. He's been in, I recognize him from Deadly Women. I recognize him from a lot of other stuff. He's a writer, so he's very flamboyant, which that's what he does.
There's too much flourish. Get to the point.
Yeah, but you and I are get to the point people. Not everybody is.
Yeah. But so I've done my FOIA request. I put in a request to the Benton County Sheriff because they're just down the road. I can go down there if I have to. And what we do, our next steps, we'll go over that in the end, what our next steps are. But the Sheriff Department is supposed to get back with me. They have a lady who you've seen. If you've done research on this case or if you listen to other podcasts, you'll hear her talking, which I hope it didn't sour her on talking to people like us.
I hope not. But, I mean, all we want to do is, get cases out there from this part of the world in Arkansas that nobody really talks about. I mean, there's, I always joke with Paul, we're like the armpit of probably, true crime podcasts because, it's hard to get information, which, police departments have their own reasoning, and that's important. But I just wish that we were covered more.
Well, and there's so many people that have died mysteriously and nobody knows why.
I mean, that's true. It's all throughout the U.S. But
there's
I guess
350 million of us in the continental United States. So
true. I guess this case kind of resonated with me a touch because I have kids in college. I have a daughter that's fixing to graduate high school, and I could just easily ask her to run up the road and go get dog food for me, and she doesn't come back. That's the thing. I was like, I guess it feels more real.
Is that why you're constantly asking me to go to the store?
No. You'd fight them off.
Dang it, he came back.
But like, my oldest daughter's in college. My middle daughter is fixing to graduate high school this year. It's like they're going off in the world and they do little errands and, they may just be innocent and somebody pulls over and helps them. You don't know if they're going to help you or they have something else in mind. And I don't know, if they're studious enough to know how to take care of themselves in that situation.
I would think that I don't know. Maybe. It's a maybe from me.
I guess it's a mom.
I know these kids, and I'm like, maybe.
You always say if someone take Emily, they bring her back.
Yeah, no, they'd return that. No, thank you.
But, I guess for me, these kind of cases, like, even when 89, I was probably in junior high?
I was in junior high, probably. I was about to be 10th grader. So in Arkansas, the way our schools were made, and the way it was put together in the 80s and 90s and mid 90s, I think they changed this. Maybe it was late 90s when we did 1st through 6th in elementary school.
That's
then
correct,
7th,
yeah.
8th, and 9th in
Junior
high. And that's not middle school. Middle school, I think it takes the 10th graders in, I think.
I don't know.
Sure.
We called it junior high. And then
That's what it was called.
10th, 11th, and 12th was high school. So if you were like in 9th grade, even though technically some people considered you high school, you were the top of junior high. So
yeah, you weren't in high school yet.
So, they've changed that now.
Well, it's not always changed either because they still have Central and Southwest Junior High.
Yeah.
In Springdale. So who knows? I don't know what the heck they're doing. Just, make it all the same. Forget making it. Forget making it hard. There. That was hard to say.
So tell us about this case and we'll get going.
Well, so if you're interested, it's Arkansas State Police cold case 72-771-89. Yes, we're going to get in the weeds. That's exactly what
as
we're
best
doing.
we could get information on. Yes.
Yeah.
Which we get. So some things are not going to tell us. It's not public record because I get that.
Yeah. Well, Dana, she was Stidham. She was 18 years old and a recent Gravette High School graduate. Gravette's really far away from Bella Vista.
That's true.
Especially then. The city limits have changed. But at the time, Bella Vista and Gravette didn't butt up.
But, think about it now. She graduated from there. They probably, like, in our situation, like Emily, we moved from where we were to here now. So maybe her family up and moved to Centerton whenever she got out of high school.
So supposedly she supposedly had a low risk type life.
Yeah.
Right? She's not out doing that we know of.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. One thing we need to definitely tell people right now is we always say to keep the facts in mind. And whenever we get off the facts and start guessing, speculating, no one's thought about these things but us.
Yeah, it's just our thoughts, our ideas, what's coming to mind, what I guess makes us clue in on things. We're not law enforcement. We're not.
But we are I wouldn't say highly educated, but I'm pretty sure that between you and I, we know enough that we could probably hold our own in a college course.
Yeah, I've been to college, yeah.
You've been to college?
Yeah, and you can hold yourself in college very well.
Yeah. I do a lot of research into the human condition, psychology.
No, that's your thing.
It's a hobby.
Yeah, and I'm a nurse by background.
So I know how it's like if you've seen the TV show Mindhunter on Netflix.
Mindhunter's amazing. It's a good show.
I'm sure everybody that has Netflix has seen it. But that's a story about the guys who invented profiling and how to hunt down serial killers and regular killers, just one-offs as well. Yes. They did a lot of research into this. They went and interviewed a lot of people who killed other people and spent time figuring it out. And then he consolidated it into many books, and now it's the cornerstone, not necessarily what they use today.
But it's still the cornerstone, meaning it's back to basics if you want to get down to it.
Everything's built on top of these guys. And I've done a lot of research into that. And some of that stuff's just, to me, it's just intuitive. I'm like, why didn't anybody think about this before? You know? Yeah. Some of these things that we go through when we're trying to figure out the mind of someone who's doing bad things, it's like, duh.
Yeah, you have to get inside their head at least somewhat to understand, which is, I think, what they did.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're gonna kind of do a little bit, I think.
Yeah, but I want everyone to know as a disclaimer, we're not law enforcement, so
And we're not licensed professionals.
So it's just our ideas and thoughts based upon the evidence we glean from what we can get a hold of.
I'm a licensed joker.
That's probably true.
No. Anyway, and then I guess it says, I assume that they moved to Centerton, or at least her father might have been living. She was living in Centerton with her brother and another person. That's right.
Yeah, her brother. She moved in with her brother and a couple of her friends.
She drove a 1984 Dodge Omni. Have you seen what that looks like? That is such a junk.
Come on. I drove a Dodge Reliant K. I can't argue.
I drove Boss Hogg's car in high school.
But, I mean, your first car, 18, you think you're like king and queen of the world, So I drove that thing until it literally fell apart. Oh, it kind of looks, we're pulling it up right now.
It looks like an Escort. Basically, it looks like an Escort.
It's a little smaller than my car.
It's an Escort.
But, hey, when you're 18 and you got a car, you don't care.
I like that blue on that one. Anyway.
You don't care if it, looks like crap, for lack of a better term. It's your car.
So she drove her little Omni down to the grocery store at Phillips Food Center, which is now a Harps, from what I gather.
Okay. Harps is very common in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
It's kind of like your hometown grocery store, I guess you can kind of equate it to.
Yeah. And about 3:17, now we know that she was in the store at 3:17. At least that's when the purchase was made, because she had a receipt on her in the bag.
Yeah.
Of the stuff she bought, which is probably paper bags back then.
Yeah.
And not plastic, because Walmart didn't start using those. They're the first one to use them. They didn't start using those until, 2000?
Oh, God, I don't even know. All I can remember is
maybe 98.
Paper and then plastic most of my adult life.
Yeah. Yeah, so they probably use the paper ones. And they say that an officer reports a pickup truck being behind a small car with a man kneeling near the left rear tire on US 71 in Wellington. But you can't find that document.
No, we found it in newspapers.com, but that could be easily misconstrued.
Yeah.
Or, not completely 100% correct.
It doesn't exist in hard copy that we can find.
That we can find now. And we dug.
So about, I don't know, it was probably 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 10 minutes later, he sees this car and somebody's helping her change a flat.
Which we all see this every day. I mean, we drive in on the highways and the roads, and we see some nice.
I've helped people change flats.
Yeah, a good Samaritan pull over, which you want someone to help you. And this is the day before cell phones. So if you're out in the middle of a highway where you have to get out of the car and walk, and somebody comes up and it's like, "Hey, I'll help you," you're like, "Thank you." I mean, you don't.
Especially if you're a lady.
Yeah, you don't think about like sinister stuff like this, especially in '89.
It's those tires weigh about 85 to 100 pounds.
Yeah, they're hard to lift. I've tried it myself, and they're very hard. I mean, and I work out, and it's still kind of hard for me. Yeah. I couldn't change my own tire. I'm not strong enough.
You could too. Just mostly out of spite, you'd get that tire changed. You'd be so mad.
Probably. This is probably true. I'm going to do it, damn it.
So she disappears. That's the last time they saw the car, until the next morning when someone reported it as abandoned on the side of the road.
Now, here's my thing. This just came to me. Like, okay, she's running an errand for her father, correct?
Yeah. Supposedly.
She doesn't come back. Did her parents call the police? Like in those days, though, wasn't it like you have to have 24 to 48 hours before they'll do anything? And she's a legal adult at 18.
That's true. Could it be said that that's normal for her to be gone overnight? I mean, maybe that's why they didn't call. I mean, we don't know these things.
We don't know. There's no reports or nothing. The family's not saying that. And that's fine. We're not passing any blame. But, we've listened, all of us have listened to enough true crime to know that, like.
We listen to more than usual.
Yeah, that's probably true. That, we can't report anything until they're gone for, 24 to 48 hours. And she's 18 years old and an adult.
But cops can choose to look for you now if they wanted to. It's not that strict of a policy.
But back then, it seemed like nobody took anything seriously, which is very sad because time was lost.
Yeah.
In this situation.
Well, I don't know why she wasn't reported missing. Maybe she was just maybe she wasn't running an errand for her father, because we're getting that from podcasts and reports, but is that the truth?
And who knows? Maybe she's getting cat food for herself. I mean, we don't know.
Cigarettes, probably.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of speculation behind that, but it makes me think like nothing was really reported and nothing that we could find of anybody that was like, where is she at?
Yeah.
But those are also the days like now somebody goes missing, and depending upon where you're at in the world, it's all over like TV and Facebook and all that. Back then it was what? Newspapers and
they barely had Amber Alerts back then.
Yeah.
Nobody knew. And it's all landline, so
that's true. There's
they
no
didn't
cell
even
phones.
have caller ID.
Yeah, so there's no cell phones. So her and her situation, she's like, I don't know, I can't change a tire. I'm stuck here. Either get out and walk or, this nice person's going to help me.
So they found the car the next morning. It was unlocked, keys in the ignition, groceries left inside, the tire's still flat, and it's facing the wrong way, like she's going back to the store. Which
I find that odd.
Yeah. Very strange.
We've read that in some newspaper reports of the police said that they thought that was odd. Which the only thing I could think of is maybe she got like, you know how you're not paying attention and you're driving, you're like, oop, I missed my exit. And you have to go all the way around.
But it's a 2-lane road out in the country. You know what those look like because we drive them all the time. There's no reason for her to turn around because you wouldn't miss an exit.
That's true. That's true. This is rural. I'm just thinking I'm picturing the way Bella Vista is now. I don't know what it was like in 89 when I was a kid. But it's not like it is now where you have that dividing down the highway.
Well, it was a semi-rural.
Yeah.
There were some new housing developments starting to be built. But what Bella Vista is a retirement community. In
those days, it highly was. Now it's kind of like...
It's mixed.
It's mixed, yeah.
But back then, you had to be 60 plus to even buy a lot.
That's probably true, yeah.
It is. It definitely is. It was a retirement community locked in. It didn't have a police station. It barely had a fire department.
Yeah, but I lived there when my son was little, and they didn't even like us living out there because we weren't 65. And it was more of an opportunity then than it was in 89.
Yeah. Yeah. And basically it's Ozark mountain terrain. It's rough. There's low creeks and high hills and bluffs, and it's really hard to navigate that area. And so that's why if you don't stay on the road, you're either going to get lost or you're going to have to hike a long way to get to where you can get out of the culvert that you're in.
Yeah, it was way more like that now than it is, then than it is now. Now
there's more trails. They got the trail system that goes all the way through Northwest Arkansas, all the way up to the Missouri border now.
Yeah, back then it was just like the very rural,
Yeah, the only trails that were out there were deer trails at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
It was bad. So I guess they got the car, they towed it off, I'm supposing. I don't see why they'd leave it there.
No, they wouldn't leave it
Especially if it's been reported abandoned with the keys in it. The cops are probably
Which that's odd because if you're going to somebody comes up and's like, hey, I'm going to take you to XYZ station so you can call somebody. You would take your keys. You would take your purse. You would take your stuff.
Yeah, at least your keys.
I mean,
and your cigarettes too.
Yeah, if she's
you'd always take. I mean, if she bought cigarettes, I'm assuming she smoked cigarettes. You don't leave them in the car because you're going to want one.
You wouldn't leave that there, so that's odd. I think that's kind of odd.
Yeah. So about 2 days go by when this dude reports. No, I'm sorry. I take that back. It was 3 months, wasn't it? 7 weeks? 7 weeks.
It was in September she was discovered.
Yeah. 7 weeks later.
Yeah, September 16th of 89.
Yeah. She was reported that there was a body in the culvert.
Yeah, and the guy that reported her...
He waited a day or longer to even make the phone call.
He didn't want to ruin his squirrel hunting.
Yeah, it's reported. We've got a newspaper clipping that from where was it?
Oh, it was, I want to say it was out of New York. That basically, Hunter doesn't let bodies spoil day.
Yeah. So instead of reporting her, or the body...
Most normal people, I think, would.
Oh, crap, there's somebody dead down there in the hollow. I guess we better call someone.
I would be like, oh God, somebody's dead. I'm not touching nothing.
Yeah. Now, these days, don't touch anything.
But I mean, I guess
You'll get blamed for it.
back then, there was no DNA. There was no
It was just beginning with DNA.
probably. But I mean, I would like to think that humanity and what we are, we'd be like, oh my God, somebody's died. This is skeletal remains. I need to get out of here and I need to tell somebody. Not, oh, I'm worried about my squirrels.
Yeah. So he waited to tell them. But where they found her was in a dry creek bed, really far down in a little culvert kind of thing.
Yeah, and when I looked up one of the newspapers mentioned she was from highway, I want to say like 340 and 94, which that means nothing to you guys that don't live around Arkansas. But when I looked it up, because we're not that far from where this is, honestly, which is kind of the creepy part. Because even now, when you go out there, I want to say if it's the correct thing that newspapers are reporting, there's a water tower there, and even now it's still rural.
Yeah, it takes a lot to get back there. That's for dang sure.
I mean, so it's like, I don't know. The first thing that goes off in my head is like, this has to be somebody that knows the area.
Maybe,
but I don't know, man. You know the area. You got to be local back then to know all those trails. Even, I mean, now you could probably drive around and we have
She
GPS.
was found 6 miles away from her car.
Yeah, 6 miles away from her car. So what did they do? Like, she's by her car. She's thinking this person's going to help her. And what do they do? How did they get her in the car?
Did they kill her 6 miles up the road, closer to the site? Or did they kill her where the car is? I think it's possible to cover up the body, to cover up the finding of the body. The person that killed her put her body in the culvert, right?
Yeah.
Got in her car and drove it back down the road so they would search in the wrong place.
I mean, that's a possibility. Or
that makes sense to me.
Or they're like, I don't know, knife, weapon, whatever make you get in a car in those days. And then
they had a flat.
But she's getting in his car.
Yeah.
And 6 miles is a lot for anybody to hike with someone that they may not be able to control.
6 miles at 35 miles an hour. It's a good 10-minute drive.
Which we've taken that back way from Bella Vista to home. And it's about 10 minutes.
Yeah. That's about 15 if you take it the whole way.
Yeah, the whole way.
So I'm thinking that he moved the car. Sounds like he moved the car, but I don't know because we haven't been able to get the FOIA request in.
I don't know. I think he got her in there somehow, promising her some way of calling for help. And, or, oh, honey, maybe she didn't have a spare in her car. I mean,
True.
And, hey, honey, I will take, or whatever, however they get you in the car, I'm going to drive you up the road and you can call your dad or whatever. And they pull a knife or something on her and she's subdued and she's at his will. We're assuming it's a he. More than likely it's a he, but it could be a she, guys. Let's just be realistic. But we're saying he because that's probably statistically more of a correctness.
Yes.
We're not trying to anybody out there saying you're saying he, it could be a woman. We understand that, but we're just being like, what we think.
I'm missing a piece in my book here.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm going to do. So there was other people. So the first thing they looked at was the boyfriend.
Yes. This poor man. Let me pull this up here. Because we have so many names.
Obviously, the first place you go whenever somebody gets killed is family and friends.
Oh, yeah. That's the first people you look at.
Because they're usually the people who kill people is your family or friends. Nice, isn't it?
Which is sad, but if you got to work work inside out, so to speak. But this poor soul, poor guy, they dated. What was,
well, I think there's two. Was there two guys involved in this?
Paul loves his pad. I love paper, guys. Michael Earl McMillan.
Yeah. Now, did they date or was he just a stalker?
I got reports from newspapers that they dated and that they were good friends from Gravette High School.
Now, one thing when they found her, she was completely decomposed.
That's correct.
She sat in the 100-degree heat.
From July that she was missing?
Yeah, July to September.
September, which if anyone's...
It's really humid in Arkansas at that time.
Oh, it's like 100, 102.
With 90% humidity, yeah.
So, yeah, if you're sitting on open elements, but define skeletal remains. I'm thinking skeletal remains meaning like Mr. Skeleton, you can hang out for Halloween. But that could be probably misconstrued if maybe there's some stuff on her correctness, because obviously they identified her.
Yeah. So so there's two guys. The rumor was, this is what the podcast people put out, and it's like, it's a rumor. And I don't know if I like the rumor mill that they get into.
Yeah, rumor mill. Come on, we all remember when being in school, someone starts a rumor. It's not necessarily true. Telephone game.
Yeah.
But her boyfriend, okay, here's the thing. He becomes a suspect for a while. And obviously they dated. So he's going to take her on dates. She's going to be in his vehicle.
That was the McMillan guy, right?
McMillan, yeah. So to prove or disprove him, you're going to have to figure out where he was at in the time that this took place.
Yeah.
And his only alibi was he was driving around, which is extremely vague.
Just driving around. No, I didn't kill her. I'm just driving around.
That does not make you look good. But at the time of her burial, he was in the Navy. And when
so was he? Okay, so that's was he? So he obviously was in town when she was killed.
Yes, his alibi was he's driving around. No specifics.
So he wasn't in the Navy.
But if you think about it, she was found sometime later. Like in July, he's driving around. Maybe he went to the Navy. I don't know. I'm guessing here, maybe like 2 weeks later. So at the time that she was found and the time that she was having her funeral, he's in the Navy. Navy. He can't. He's very distraught, and he got in trouble from when he got out on leave or wherever. He came back and stole her marker.
The temporary marker.
Temporary marker.
Now, I do know my father passed away not too long ago, and he still has a temporary marker.
Yes.
And it's been 6 months probably.
It takes a bit for headstones.
Yeah. So it's possible, even more so back then, because now they've got these big laser etcher machines that can do it fast. It's possible that it could have been almost a year later, because we don't have the police report date of when he took the temporary marker.
But what I could read in newspapers, like he was going to get in like a misdemeanor charge for stealing a marker.
Yeah. Which it's petty theft. Which,
I get it. He's distraught. He obviously cared for her. He loved her, in some aspects. He's very distraught about it. Everyone's kind of, the newspapers.com, his attorney brought at a point that, he's just upset. It wasn't nothing like sinister. He didn't, that doesn't mean he did it.
See his point of view. I mean, you're not going to get anything to remember her by, and they're going to put the tombstone down, and you found out it's going in Wednesday. And so you go up there and take the temporary marker because they're just going to throw it away or reuse it for somebody else. So you want that to remember her by.
But
it's weird.
Ask the family.
Well, yeah, exactly. But it's weird, but it's plausible.
It's plausible. It's also plausible the other way too.
Yeah.
But I mean, I lost.
It's also plausible that it blew away with the wind, but no, they stole it.
I have my daughter's temporary marker. I had a child that passed away.
You still have it?
Yeah, I still have it.
Okay.
I get that wanting to hold on to it, but I would like to think, and maybe because I want to believe that people have an ounce of kindness, that you would ask the parents.
Yeah, but not if you're an idiot.
But I guess if you're so distraught, you're not thinking.
Yeah, he's an idiot. Well, he's also an idiot. His alibi is I'm out driving around.
And think about it. One thing I thought was very interesting in reading in newspapers.com is his attorney, which was a lady. I can't remember her name, but she was like, later on down the road, he's obviously prime suspect boyfriend, stole the marker, he's like, it just rings it. But
so, yeah. And they say he drove a truck that was very similar to the truck that was parked behind Dana's. Well, every truck then looked like the other truck.
Yeah. They all had a very classic look. All of them did.
Yeah. And they all looked the same.
I mean, now you can
especially in the dark.
You can tell a Dodge between a Ford, between a Chevy.
Yeah,
I mean,
but they were all boxes back then.
Yeah, but they're all boxes back then.
And it wasn't new. His truck wouldn't be new because he's Navy and he's not here all the time. I doubt he's got a brand new truck. But, and even if he got a brand new truck, it's got a 1990. I guess it's a new body style. But more than likely, it was like an 85 Chevy.
Yeah.
Or an 85 Ford. Which look very similar in the dark from a distance.
Yeah, anybody in the dark. If you were to ask me, like, hey, what kind of vehicle? You see, it was a black truck. I couldn't tell you if it was a Ford or a Dodge or whatever. You could, though. Because
I didn't know the difference, yeah.
I don't.
I'm a car guy.
But we also had another person we thought might be a potential suspect.
In 96, the judge ordered this guy to provide a hair sample when he was in Oklahoma.
Yeah, he lived, I think, went to Tulsa, I want to say.
Yeah.
I get this. I get why his attorney said no. Because if you think about it, they were dating.
The attorney absolutely said, no way, not going to happen.
And I see your point. I mean, they dated. Of course her hair is going to be in that truck. Of course there's going to be DNA in that truck.
Well, Judge ordered him to provide a hair sample in 96. They wanted his DNA, I think, or something.
Which I think he complied with it.
Yeah, but the state crime lab said it was similar, but lacked a route for DNA. Everybody has a version of brown hair.
Yeah.
It's really light brown, which is we call blonde, or really dark or black, which 3/4 of the time it's actually just really dark brown.
And to get the root removed, I think, is kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
It's probably more of a better technique now.
Yeah.
But
yeah. They don't even need hair anymore. We just go to DNA, straight to DNA, forget the hair.
Now, if you touch anything, you got touch DNA. I mean,
they can pull DNA out of a strand of hair.
Which is mind-boggling, but this is
Way
89.
Better. But when he was there, though, the police went out and talked to him, right?
Yep.
And what he said to them was sometimes I think I did kill Dana, but I know I didn't.
Why would you say that, though?
He went on record saying that.
But why would you say that?
Well, cognitive dissonance and things like that, people, if he's really, I'm playing devil's advocate, he's really distressed about it, that is something that he's, transferred onto himself.
I mean,
and he might feel like sometimes I think I did, but I know I didn't.
To me, that's a weird statement. Like, if you didn't do it, if you didn't do something like this, you and I would be like screaming at the hilltops, I didn't do this, X, Y, and Z, screw you all, I did not. I don't imagine, even if someone like beat me to death, I still don't think I would do that.
Well, we're also much faster processors of information than most people.
But we're different people.
And we're also very different people. We're very, very, you won't meet very many people like Andrea and I.
But if you think about it, though, there have been cases out there where people have been like within an inch of their life and they confess just to make the beating stop.
Yeah, that happens all the time, actually. That's why they don't do that anymore. They can't. It's like the cops go to jail now for doing that.
Also makes me wonder, did they hound this guy so much that he's getting confused within his own head where he was?
Could have. Because that was a technique of the day in 1989. And a small, Benton County police force, it's not the modern police force we have now. I'm not indicting the police.
No.
Because I don't know. It might not have happened that way, but it could have.
We're always kind of slightly 5 years behind the rest of the world.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. But they also said she had another boyfriend or another guy that she was dating.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. No, they didn't give a name publicly. This is all hearsay from the podcast. The other podcasts. This is why I don't like to listen to these podcasts, because they tell you these things. You think they're fact.
But you can't find where they get the information
and
from.
They're just somebody says, well, I think so. And that's not correct. So any alibis for this guy was verified through work logs and family corroboration is what they say.
Family will cover it from their own people,
Yeah.
for God's sakes.
Did you steal that there Kit Kat from me? No.
Gabby Petito, his own family backed him up.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. Guys, if my kids did something like that, it'd be like, you're going to jail, buddy. You're going to confess.
Well, there was this whole bunch of rumors about about there being some kind of weird party up in the woods near Missouri. And I think this guy in the podcast that we're talking about, that I listened to, he's getting too close to another case that isn't related to this case.
I mean, that's possible. There were a couple other things that we looked up around this time, because we found an article where it talked about that there's serial killers maybe lurking in the Ozarks. So we were kind of curious about what exactly they were getting at. And we were both discussing this before we got on air.
In 1990, Shauna Garber, she was 22.
Which Anderson, Missouri is not that far away from Bella Vista.
And that's the Grace Doe.
Yeah, Grace Doe.
That's the one that they did. They figured it out. They solved it. And I think we're probably going to dive in on that for ourselves as well. Donna Sue Nelton, also in 1990, age 28, out of Benton County.
Which we don't know.
Right here.
It's right here. I mean, that's fits super close. But the one that I don't agree with, which we covered briefly on one of them, was Melissa Missy Witt.
Yeah,
that's
Melissa
Fort
Witt.
Smith. Fort Smith is what, an hour and a half from here?
So there was major papers coming out and saying that it was a serial killer.
Yeah, which
is not right.
Maybe they're grasping at the same time frame.
Yeah.
But I get that. And then the other one is a young girl, Christina Marie Pimkin, which we may cover.
She was 9.
She's 9. Doesn't really quite completely fit the MO of someone who's 18 and 22 and 28. But still, if we can find some information to help the family with Miss Christina, we would love to help and like research it and get that out there. Because a 9-year-old, that is very sad, guys.
Yeah, it'd be tough for me not to also be convicted of murder after I find the person who did it.
Yeah, you don't hurt children. Don't hurt children.
Yeah, I'm not. You don't want to meet me in a dark alley and me know that you're some kind of pedophile. It's not going to end well.
No, you'd go to jail.
So where we're at now is basically there's no evidence because it's all rotted away.
But I read that her mother gave up blood and saliva samples. That way her daughter didn't have to be exhumed if they do find someone.
What?
Like,
what is that going to help with?
Well, she has mitochondrial DNA. She wanted to give everything out there so her daughter doesn't.
So they wanted the daughter's DNA.
Yeah, so she doesn't have to be
They had the daughter's DNA though, didn't they?
I would think to identify her, but it's been on several police reports.
They probably didn't pull any because at the time, 1990,
we didn't know.
DNA wasn't really a thing. It was just being used. I think the first case was just happening right then.
But think about it as a mom and your daughter was killed savagely. You don't want her constantly being up and down out of her resting place to see if someone's exhumed. That in itself is enough trauma as a parent, I would think.
Yeah.
So I think she kind of had a little bit of forethought of wanting to help, which I don't know how much of that. We do know some things have been sent to the FBI, some things have been sent to Arkansas State Crime Lab, but nothing has ever been completely 100% finding an answer on what happened to her and who did it.
Yeah. So here's the thing that drove me nuts once I started compiling the book.
Okay.
And it drove me nuts because I know enough about how people who kill operate, mostly because I have to write about it in my stories.
That's correct.
If you want to read my stories, by the way, it's on Substack. Just search for Paul G. Newton and you can read them because there's a bunch of them there. But I have to know how to kill people.
To write it.
And I have to understand the person who killed it.
To make a good story.
Yeah, because if you don't understand the person and why they killed, then you can't grow the characters.
But when we first got this, the first words out of my mouth is this squirrel hunter not reporting it. Either A, you're an a-hole for not doing it and you're more worried about catching.
Prick,
catching your squirrels. Okay.
I doubt that. Squirrels are everywhere.
Around here, they're like, rats.
Yeah. They are rats with tails.
But it just I don't know, something about that just drove me nuts. Tails. It's like, why would you do that? Do you not have a soul? I
went and did this quickly using ChatGPT.
Which it's nice.
It's really, really good. It's a
helpful.
Really good source material.
It helps me in my job. It helps you with your writing your stories on how to get good information that you can't spend hours on because who has hours and hours of time in their lives for things?
Well, we do, or we're used to.
Yeah.
So what I did is I went in and I talked to Chat for a good hour and a half about Robert Ressler.
Which is on Mindhunter.
Yeah, he's the main guy that started all of this stuff, the profiling and everything else.
Yeah, super brilliant man.
Yeah, and he's the one that put this together. This is where the stepping stones come from, so people can get from one place to the other and build upon.
Which has helped solve crimes.
More than one.
Several big ones.
But it didn't do anything for BTK. Completely missed the mark with BTK.
BTK, I think, is an enigma all his own.
He just quit and then started again.
Well, he was raising a family. I guess he was busy.
Yeah. He's busy. I don't know. Too bad he wasn't busy the night that the 7, 8 people that he killed.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so this guy, it rung a bell in me in things that I remembered. So I went to Chat to look up. It's basically me getting the Cliff's Notes from Ressler's books.
Yes.
And it goes and does all the research for me and it presents me with it. And then especially with this, when you're in Chat GPT and doing anything, always, when it finally gets done, you tell it, go back and fact check everything you just said.
Yes, you have to because it is a machine. It's not.
Well, it makes stuff up. Not as bad as it used to when it first started.
But it's not like you trained it. Like train your dragon, whatever that
Well, no,
movie
I
is.
trained mine. Mine is trained. And I've put hundreds of hours into my chat, and they do learn these chat GPTs. They do learn how to talk to you in a way that you'll accept and not want to kill them for the most part. Over time, they learn you.
Yeah, it almost sounds like sometimes the responses it gives you sounds like it's you.
Yeah.
Which is kind of eerie, but you know.
Well, I told it that's why I wanted it to do it, because then I understand it and I don't have to fight with it. Yeah. Like, what the hell are you talking about? No, I get it. So pulled up the wrestler information and the profiling information and just wrestled with it for a minute. And it came up with, and I agree with it 100%.
But we're not trying to have, like, say, when we say this, we're not trying to say that this is who did it.
Right.
We're not trying to we're not a cops. This is just us speculating and us just thinking and having our own ideas and processes behind it. So I don't want any like law enforcement coming after us. Or
what I want to know is, did we follow up with the hunter? Did he sit in an interrogation room and get questioned for hours like a normal suspect would? That's what I want to know.
I would like to know that. And I would like to know, like, back in those days, even up until, like, I would say 2000, the good old boy system in Northwest Arkansas still worked. If you were...
Yeah, it worked up until about 5-10 years ago, actually.
If you were well known in the community and you seemed to be a good person and you kept your nose clean and you happened to be somewhere you shouldn't, well, they'll just forget about that because, Billy Bob, you're a good person. And that's sometimes, I think... It's not just in Arkansas. I'm sure it's everywhere in the U.S., but it was a thing here.
Yeah, and one of the things that Wrestler discovered was the offender insertion into the investigation. And while this could be said that it is not, it is, because he inserted himself into the investigation when he did not report it.
Yeah, I don't know why that bugs me so much, because it's kind of like, I would like to think if you have a soul, you would do the right thing.
Now, Prosecutor David Klinger and Sheriff Andy Lee both were very concerned about this guy and his lapse in not reporting it. But again, did they interrogate him? Did they push him? Because the behavioral presentation, the hunter's lack of emotional effect and his statement that he didn't let it spoil his day. That should have drawn, I would have put him in an interrogation room immediately.
Bring out the fire and the pitchforks. I mean, that's how I look at it.
Right? And it's atypical for an uninvolved witness. It's not something an uninvolved witness would say.
But she wouldn't, he's the reason why she was discovered. So let's just be hypothetically here for shits and giggles, excuse my language, that he did it and nobody was discovering her. And he was getting slightly irritated that nobody was finding her. And he's like, oh, I'll make a call. Here she is. But I want to get my squirrel hunting in. Yeah.
Or he could just be an asshole.
That's true. I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, there are some people that here hunting is almost like a religion, especially in the, their 80s and 90s. And even now, hunting is a big deal here.
Yeah. Well, and part of the biggest thing about it, too, though, is that if there was anybody who would have the ability to traverse and know where everything is, it's that guy. It's
a hunter. Yeah, they know.
No, he was there.
I mean, the hunters know where they like to go. They know what's rural. Yeah. They know where they're going to get what game at and where. I have family that hunt, and they know their stuff. They know where to put their tree stand. They know where to put their blind. They know, times of year and in conditions. They're very smart on that, and they know what's hidden from. I don't know what it was like in '89, but even now, it's still kind of rural. But we have a road through it. Who knows what it was like back then?
And here's the thing. This wasn't common knowledge about what we're talking about in 1989.
No, it wasn't.
Because the book, Sexual Homicide, Patterns and Motives by Ressler, Burgess, and Douglas didn't come out until 1988. So it's very plausible that the local law enforcement were still going off of the 1960s and 70s playbook of how to handle a homicide investigation.
Yeah, because, they didn't know. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, and in that book, he says that such a delay may stem from shock, fear, or implication, or in rare cases, offender reinsertion behavior. But fear of implication. But the behavioral pattern of him coming back and saying
he didn't want to spoil his day, doesn't sit well.
And then he comes on in later media interviews called a narrative control tendency, sometimes seen in organized offenders who wish to shape public perception or monitor investigative progress. And that got out of the Douglas and Olshaker Mindhunter, 1995. Mindhunter was actually a book that explains how these things worked.
But I mean,
in 1995, it still hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
So these are techniques and things that they didn't consider on the ground that day.
But if you're thinking like a lay person who finds a body, you would think they will instantly turn it into police. For me, if I found a body, I'd be screaming like, I'm not touching it. And I would like go call somebody, but I would be afraid that I would be in it, because you found it. But if you didn't do anything wrong, then why did you not report it sooner?
One of the good things about it is that according to the research I did, and of course this is all speculation and not real doctoral level stuff, is that it's more than likely he's not going to be a repeat offender.
It's
so this
probably
would be the only person he killed if it was him.
But he's never named it anything I can find. All it says
they
is
never
squirrel
quote
hunter.
him.
They never quote him, except that one.
Except for that one quote, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't put his name next to the quote.
Yeah, which
What I meant.
I would like to think due diligence would be able to rule somebody out, but the good old boy method is still kind of a concern.
So some of the people think that her tire was slashed or the air was let out in a ruse to get her to pull over so they could help and kill her.
I can see that.
I don't know. I mean,
no offense to those ladies out there,
the
but
blue light rapist kind of shit's going on here.
Yeah, we're not very studious on cars. Some women are. God bless you who are. I'm not one of those people. If I was to say if someone tampered with my tire, I'd have no idea. I just get in the car and go. So it's a possibility.
And they don't know what killed her. They don't know if she was strangled or stabbed. And there's conflicting reports that Arkansas State Police finally did say, yes, she was stabbed, but they can't prove it.
No, unless you've got like chip marks on bone, I don't know how they could prove that. We're not DNA people. We're by no means are we DNA like trained. You lab techs are like amazing in this field, and God bless you. But I'm just thinking if she's stabbed and she's skeletal remains, the only way you can probably prove that is seeing like nicks on a bone.
Absolutely. And I guess my biggest thing too is that all these other podcasts, this one guy's telling this giant long story, and he goes off on a 3-episode tangent on another killing, trying to tie it in, but it's not the same.
No, but sometimes people see things at different perspectives. That maybe he's seeing something from a writer's narrative, or something that
he's trying to tell you a story instead of giving you information.
But that's obviously done well for him because he's pretty well known. We're not going to say who he is because we don't want him coming after us if he gets angry that we're having a different opinion. But
we can have a different opinion. You can get angry all he wants.
Oh, these days you never know. But
free speech.
But
no?
But people sometimes like that type of drawing in and identifying with the person, which we both kind of identified with her based upon different scenarios. Me being a mother, for you, it was the aspect of the hunter that irked both of us, but you especially.
Yeah, no, I was on him. I was thinking about him immediately. I'm like, that's my suspect.
But for me, I'm thinking, what can I do to protect my girls when they're out there on the road themselves? Granted, we have cell phones now. That's a little bit better. But in 89, there was no cell phones. It was landlines. You're out there by yourself. Either you get out of the car and walk, or some sweet person helps you.
But that's all there is about it. There's some other people talking about parties and things like that. But, it's not eyewitness accounts. It's people that are just talking about BS. You've got this one guy. It's very possible that the other guy did this, the guy in Oklahoma. What's his name? It's very possible. But I want to clear the...
You mean Oklahoma or the guy from Gateway?
Oh, you're talking about other suspects. Now I'm talking about the suspect that they had.
Oh, yeah. The boyfriend.
Yeah.
But it could be like, who knows? Maybe they graduating high school and they're like, hey, man, I'm going on a different path in life. We need to break up. And maybe, I'm just speculating here, maybe he didn't take that very well, which
True.
I get that. When
one of the other things that I brought up too was, because you just reminded me of it, was this guy at Gateway.
Yeah, Gary Hardin. I think it's Gary Hardin.
Yeah, Hardin, the devil in the Ozarks.
And he's the one that decided he wanted to escape.
Yeah, he's the one
recently.
He's spending. He got exactly half a mile in and just stopped.
I'm I'm sorry, but if
You're
I'm
an
going to
idiot.
escape from jail, I'm going to go as far away from the
About.
jail as possible. But he hung around.
Yeah, he didn't go anywhere.
I'm like, I remember like yelling at the
chicken
TV
shit.
going, you idiot. But I mean, we're
Yeah.
glad that criminals are stupid. That's how they get caught.
But he's from Pea Ridge.
Grant Hardin. He's from
Grant Pea Ridge.
Gateway Pea Ridge area, which is where we live.
Yeah, which is a stone's throw from where she was murdered.
Right. It's literally like
Now, one thing about Grant Harding is it's proven by DNA that he tried to rape a teacher.
he did rape a teacher.
He did rape a teacher at a middle school. Was it middle school? It was middle school or
Middle school.
elementary school. wasn't it?
Elementary school.
Elementary school. Before he became even the Gateway police officer.
Yes, and he
They
shot.
didn't know who did it.
Yeah, but they obviously, thank God, the police department had the foresight to keep DNA.
Yeah. They kept the DNA off the victim. Was that? I think it sounds more like, though, I mean, it's possible that he could have been over here and said, ooh, look, I get to kill somebody because he's nuts. But it doesn't follow the pattern underneath the Mindhunter's ways of doing things. Wrestler, because it would be an escalation and then he'd de-escalate to rape.
True, or maybe we don't know. Maybe she was raped. We'll never know. She was skeletal remains.
But like I said, though, if he would have killed, he would have killed the teacher.
Also,
More than likely.
or maybe something stopped him. We just know this guy because he's in the area. He's very kind of known to this part of the world. He escaped recently. It was all over the news.
But he was working in and around Bentonville
Yeah.
at the time, which is right next to Bella Vista. And it would be on his way home.
Correct.
That road would be on his way home from where his work was.
Which is the road you would take to drive through Pea Ridge to get the gateway.
Yeah.
If we're depending upon in this area where he lived, it is the main way to get through there.
Yeah. And at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, guess what? He just got off work because he worked at a factory.
Yep.
They leave at 3. Was
he in a factory or law enforcement yet?
No, he was only 20.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And that's another reason why I kind of exclude him a little bit, because he's 20 and he hasn't raped yet.
But you always need...
And the other killing was just he walked up to the dude and shot him because he was mad at him.
Yeah.
For no reason.
We're going to cover him in a later podcast because he's fascinating. He's local to us. Granted, he got caught.
Your uncle or somebody, your cousin, Bray, was the one that saw it and found the body.
Yeah. Bray's is my mother's maiden name, and they're like a big
They
out
live
here.
here.
Yeah. Big out here in Pea Ridge, and somebody with the last name Bray is somehow connected to me. But
he's the one that found the body. He's driving by. It's like, what the heck?
yeah, that back road that we try to tell Emily to be careful on.
Yeah, don't get killed. Anyway, so I guess what we're looking for now is we're going to follow us with the investigation a little bit here. We're going to see how much of the stuff we get back.
And FOIA, yeah.
And if we can talk to the sheriff department.
Yeah, we're
Because
working.
we have those questions that we want to have answered.
We want to know. And some things we want to know. We're trying, but sometimes people are very tight-lipped, and we respect that.
Did they take pictures of the tire deflation? Did they take pictures of the tire? Can we see pictures of the tire on the car? I want to see that.
If they let us.
If they have them, they might not have took pictures of it.
Yeah.
1989.
Yeah, it's true.
The officer sighting. Where the hell? Who?
Was
Do they
it-
have a log?
I'm sure there's a lot of things that they do in their daily thing that they think is insignificant and don't log. And this could be one of them.
Yeah. How was she killed? Right? Was she strangled or was she stabbed?
That you may not be able to find because depending upon
may
how
not
she
know.
was, she's skeletal remains, you won't be able to know. But her poor family, we need justice for her.
Yeah. And was there any missing items? Was there anything that's in there that they are looking for? See,
True.
I would look for that because a lot of people who kill keep souvenirs.
Yeah. And the fact that she left her keys is still very mind blowing to
Right,
me.
she could have had a picture or a locket or a rabbit's foot, or because rabbit's feet, people had them back then.
Yeah. Who
She
knows?
could have had that, and the guy's got it in his trunk right now going, I killed that girl. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I really want to know if they talked to that damn hunter.
I
I want to know if they cleared him, and they cleared him right. Did they have tapes of him?
A lot
I
of
want
this we want to know, but they may not give us for the sake of the fact that it's unsolved. And I respect that.
I don't know. I just really have a hard time believing that hunter didn't do it.
I do. I know it screams it, but I mean,
what we'd have to do now as investigator if we were the investigator, is prove that he didn't have anything to do with it. We had to go and prove he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, but we don't even have a name.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, but that's where we're at with this. Dana Stidham.
Yes.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
What do you think? Is it something we should keep? I guess we keep working on it.
Yeah, let's see what FOIA gives us. And if we have an update, guys, we'll give you one. If not, then if anybody knows anything, please report.
Yeah. Now, also, though, we've also got a couple others in the. I've been trying to find information on that 72, 74 car bombing, but nobody has it. They've gotten rid of all of it.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
It's all gone. And the dude's not talking.
No, and I get that. I respect that. I'd like to dig some more on these other things we've talked about.
Well, you've got this other homicides, right?
Yeah, Penny Doe, I'm digging into that. It's granted it's not an Arkansas case, but it's interesting.
That's just up the road.
Pennsylvania is a little bit far up the road, but yeah.
Oh, the Penny Doe one. Yeah. I thought you meant the Jane Doe. Sorry.
But, like Grace Doe, I'm kind of curious about that. We've talked about Missy, Witt.
Yeah, so if anybody knows anything, feel free to contact us. We'd love to hear what you have to say.
Or, if you know something personally, please let us know. Or if you know something and you want to talk to the police department, we encourage you to do so.
Yeah, call the cops. If you have already talked to the cops, then let us know. Especially if they ignored you or the podcast guy ignored you. We'd love to know about it.
Yeah, and this Christina Marie Pimpkin, 9 years old. I don't know, something but that tugs at me a touch. Because she's 9. She deserves justice.
Absolutely. All right, guys. PaulGNewton.com. Go to PaulGNewton.com and you can buy a hoodie. I have really cool T-shirts up there right now.
You do have some pretty cool ones. You worked hard on them.
It's a moon cat? No, it wasn't a moon cat, was it?
It's a burger.
Moon burger. That's right. Moon burgers.
It looks kind of cool.
And then I have the great Squid War of 2047 or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's cute.
Then the one cat. What's he doing?
Oh, gosh. I can't remember.
Can't remember what he's doing?
No.
The cat. Go check him out at the PaulGNewton.com. It's under Get Your Swag. And if you like this episode, email us at paulg@paulgnewton and tell us how great we are and how much you love us. And if you don't like us and you want to complain, email us anyway.
Yeah.
It turned off on me. We do this live. I don't even cut it. I just put it on there.
Yep. We do a good job. I guess we do a decent job live.
I thought it had longer on the
I like this song. It makes me laugh. I don't know why.
Yeah. Because we need to know everything.
We do.
Because we're messed up on the head. A little bit. All
Here we go.
Thanks, guys.
I need to know everything.
Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence, then let them in, chalk up their body, another one body, that's just how it go. I got some secrets, I'm shaking the game so they stay on their toes. Stay in your lane, how to stay on the go. I can play with the pros and act like a rookie, so they overlook me, they're not the below.
Thank you for listening to Things I Want to Know. You want these stories, and we want to bring them to you. So hit the support link and keep this circus and the mics alive. Then do us a favor, rate and subscribe. It helps the show find more people just like you, the ones who like their mysteries real and their storytellers unfiltered. And if you want to wear a little bit of this madness, grab some Andrea-approved gear at paulgnewton.com. We make these things for you because it matters, and you're the kind who knows the difference.